the United States has made it clear that cutting-edge AI models are not merely commercial products, they are strategic technologies with implications for economic competitiveness, national security, and geopolitical influence. When access to these tools can be altered by decisions taken in foreign capitals, the consequences extend beyond inconvenience. Entire business models, research projects, and innovation pipelines can be disrupted overnight. And the most important lesson is that digital dependence carries geopolitical risk. Namaskar, I welcome you all to the digital media of Uday India, and in Bhartiyata ka Sankhanath. Today let us speak about the sudden shutdown of access to anthropic advanced AI models. Fable 5 and Mythos 5 for non-American nationals may appear at first glance to be routine regulatory action. There are no dramatic headlines about sanctions, no military confrontation, and no diplomatic standoff. A government department has issued an export control directive. A private technology company compiled and access vanished. Yet this seemingly ordinarily event carries an extraordinary lesson for countries like India. It reveals how deeply the modern world depends on technologies controlled by a handful of foreign governments and corporations, and how vulnerable that dependence can become in an era where artificial intelligence is increasingly viewed as a strategic asset. The significance of this episode lies not in its novelty but in its predictability. Export controls have long been a tool of statecraft. Nations have historically restricted access to advanced military technologies, semiconductors, encryption systems, and critical infrastructure. Artificial intelligence is now joining that list. The United States has made it clear that cutting-edge AI models are not merely commercial products, they are strategic technologies with implications for economic competitiveness, national security, and geopolitical influence. Once AI entered this category, restrictions on access were always a possibility. For India, the event should serve as a wake-up call. For decades, the country has excelled at adopting and scaling foreign technologies. Indian engineers, entrepreneurs, and businessmen have demonstrated remarkable skill in the integrating global innovations into local markets. The rise of India's information technology sector, digital payments ecosystem, and software services industries reflects this strength. However, the country has often relied on technologies developed elsewhere rather than building foundational technologies at home. This model has delivered impressive growth, but it also creates structural vulnerabilities. The AI revolution is exposing those vulnerabilities more clearly than ever. Businesses, researchers, startups, and professionals increasingly depend on large language models and advanced AI systems to conduct research, automate workflows, write code, analyze data, and improve productivity. When access to these tools can be altered by decisions taken in foreign capitals, the consequences extend beyond inconvenience. Entire business models, research projects, and innovation pipelines can be disrupted overnight. And the most important lesson is that digital dependence carries geopolitical risk. In the 20th century, nations worried about access to oil, industrial machinery, and strategic minerals. In the 21st century, access to computing power, advanced chips, cloud infrastructure, and artificial intelligence may prove equally critical. Countries that controls these technologies possesses not only economic advantages but also leverage over those that rely on them. India has recognized this challenge in several sectors before. The push for indigenous defense manufacturing, semiconductor production, space technology, and digital public infrastructure emerged from an understanding that strategic autonomy matters. Similar thinking must now be applied to artificial intelligence. Building domestic AI capabilities is no longer simply an economic aspiration, it's a national imperative. So, fortunately, India is not starting from scratch. The country possesses one of the world's largest pools of software talent, a thriving startup ecosystem, world-class educational institutions, and a massive digital economy that generates enormous quantities of data. The government has already launched initiatives aimed at strengthening AI research and computing infrastructures. Indian companies are investing in fundamental models while research institutions are exploring language technologies tailored to the country's linguistic diversity. Yet, ambition alone will not be sufficient. Developing competitive AI systems requires sustained investment in computing infrastructure, semiconductor access, research funding, and talent development. It demands long-term policy consistency rather than short-lived announcements. And most importantly, it requires a shift in mindset from being primarily consumers and integrators of technology to becoming creators of strategic technologies. So the challenge is not to isolate India from global innovation. Internal collaboration will remain essential. AI development is inherently global and no country can innovate entirely on its own. The objective should instead be resilience. India must ensure that critical sectors do not become excessively dependent on external technologies that can be restricted, modified, or withdrawn at someone else's discretion. The Anthropic episode should therefore be viewed not as a crisis but as a warning. It has exposed a reality that many nations would prefer to ignore. Technological dependence can become strategic dependence. The export control order was routine, lawful, and entirely within the authority of the issuing government. That is precisely why it is so significant. It demonstrates that in the age of artificial intelligence, sovereignty is no more longer defined solely by borders, armies, or natural resources. Increasingly, it will also be defined by who controls the algorithms, infrastructure, and intelligence system that power the modern economy. India still has time to respond. The question is whether this movement will inspire decisive action or fade into another discussion about technological self-reliance. The answer may determine whether India becomes a leading architect of AI era or merely one of its largest customers. That's all for today. Stay tuned with India and subscribe to India. Thank you.